All right, everybody, welcome back. You know how much we love a good treasure story, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, buckle up because today we're diving into one that's got it all. Stagecoach robberies, stolen gold, the Wild West, the whole nine yards.
Sign me up.
So we're heading back to 1870s New Mexico. Picture this. Dusty trails, rugged canyons, and the ever-present danger of outlaws.
Always a good time.
Right. Now, at the heart of this story are two guys you probably never heard of, Samuel Wharton and Thomas Horton.
Okay, I don't think I know those names.
Yeah, not exactly household names, but their alleged exploits have become the stuff of legends. And we're going to break it all down today.
Awesome. I'm ready.
All right, so imagine this. It's 1874, just outside Albuquerque. The Starline Nail and Transportation Company, they were the FedEx of their day, especially when it came to anything the U.S. Army needed.
Yeah, I was reading about them. They were a big deal.
Huge. Troops, supplies, and of course the Army payroll, all transported in these heavily guarded stagecoaches. Basically, rolling Port Knoxes.
Talk about a tempting target.
Oh, you better believe it. And that brings us to our guys, Wharton and Horton. They saw an opportunity, a stagecoach loaded with $50,000 in gold coins.
50,000.
Wow. That's what we're talking about. A life-changing haul, even today, but back then, unthinkable.
What a score.
Huh.
So what'd they do? How'd they pull it off?
Well, they managed to get the drop on the stagecoach, but now they needed to vanish fast.
Yeah, I bet. With that much gold, everyone would be after them.
Absolutely. And this is where it gets interesting and a little troubling. To make their getaway, they stole horses from a Navajo herd.
Oh, no.
Yeah, not a good look. Then they hightailed it towards the San Juan River, cutting through this incredibly rugged area called Largo Canyon. The cavalry was hot on their trail.
I've been to that area. It's unforgiving terrain, even today.
Oh, I bet. But see, this detail about the stolen horses, it really underscores a darker side to this whole Wild West narrative.
Right, exactly. The theft of livestock from the Navajo Nation was a huge problem back then.
It was. And it wasn't just about material loss for the Navajo people. Their horses were sacred, deeply connected to their way of life. These thefts, they represented a violation of their culture and their very existence.
Exactly. It's easy to romanticize the past, but we can't forget the real costs to people and communities.
You got that right. But for now, let's get back to Wharton and Horton, because the cavalry is closing in and they're starting to panic.
With all that gold to carry, I can imagine.
Yeah, they couldn't exactly outrun them on foot, so they decided to stash the gold. Legend has it they buried it somewhere near a distinctive rock arch, figuring they could come back for it later. Of course, best laid plans, right?
Right. What happened?
Well, those Navajo guides, the ones whose horses were stolen, they were the ones who helped the cavalry track down Wharton Horton.
Oh, wow. So they got their revenge in a way.
They did. The outlaws were caught near the San Juan River, their dreams of striking it rich literally buried in the dirt.
Talk about irony. So what happened to them after they were captured?
They stood trial and got slapped with a 40-year sentence to the notorious New Mexico Territorial Prison. Now, you can imagine what prison conditions were like back then.
Oh, I can only imagine harsh.
Brutal doesn't even begin to describe it. And sadly, Horton didn't make it out alive. He died in prison.
Oh, man.
But Wharton, he lived long enough to be released.
He did. Wow. What happened then?
So this is where the story gets really interesting. 35 years after his release, Wharton returned. He spent an entire summer scouring the area, retracing his steps, searching for that buried treasure.
After all that time. You gotta admire his persistence, at least.
I know, right? But despite his efforts, the gold remained lost. Talk about adding insult to injury.
So the $1,000,000 question, or should I say $50,000 question, is the treasure still out there?
That's the $1,000,000 question, isn't it? Local lore says yes, that somewhere around Slains Arroyo or Potter Arroyo, these dry creek beds between Aztec and Blanco, New Mexico, that lost gold, is just waiting to be rediscovered.
Man, that's enough to make anyone want to grab a shovel and a metal detector.
Right, but there's a twist, and it's a big one. Remember how we started with legendsofamerica.com?
Yeah, the website.
Right. Well, in the spirit of full transparency, they added an update. Turns out, there might not be any official records of the robbery, the trial, or Wharton and Horton's imprisonment.
Wait, so you're saying this whole thing might be made up?
It's possible. And that's the thing about legends, isn't it? They often start with a grain of truth, a kernel of something real, and then over time they get embellished, exaggerated, until the line between fact and fiction gets blurred.
It makes you wonder what's more enduring, the thrill of a good story or the accuracy of historical events?
That's the question, right? But even if the story of Wharton and Horton is more tall tale than historical record, it still captures our imagination. And it reminds us to approach these stories with a healthy dose of curiosity and skepticism.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder to check our sources and be critical thinkers, even when we're caught up in a thrilling tale.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So, what do you think? Was it ever really about the gold? Or is this just a testament to the power of a good story passed down through generations?
That's a tough one.
Right. Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Let us know what you think really happened to Wharton's hidden treasure. And if you're hungry for more Wild West tales, we've got you covered. In the episode notes, you'll find more info about the history of stagecoach robberies, the Navajo Nation, and their deep connection to the land, and the captivating landscape of San Juan County.
I'm definitely checking those out.
Me too. All right, that's it for this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.